There'll be a quiz.
It's 12 o'clock. Our meeting is to start at 12, so I'll call the August 1st Commissioners meeting to order. And the first item on the agenda is public comments. Mr. Babson first, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, this will be the first public meeting that I will have attended since I began my political career. And,
First, say this again.
public,
First-
non-public. I don't know what you call what
Public,
Mr. Perry's doing. It's non-public because the public can't contribute, but it's open to the public, so
Yes.
it's a non-public.
It's not a
forum.
public hearing, it's a administrative hearing.
Okay.
And it will be we will have a council here, and the council will swear in whoever witnesses are here.
Okay. I've got a couple of questions. Number one, will the commissioners who I thought took an unnecessary amount of attack last week with no substantiation whatsoever, and Mr. Perry, will both of you be giving your sides of the story?
Yes,
We listen to Mr. Perry, but we have no idea what Mr. Perry did to cause
that's
this
right.
whole
Mr.
thing.
Perry opened it up last week to the public, and so that's why this administrative hearing, everything will be laid on the table.
So we will hear
You will
what
hear
caused this
what
whole
he
thing.
was accused of and so forth. He has not mentioned that.
Thank you. And my other comment, I thought the Farm Day was very good. I just have one comment, and I'm sorry that the commissioners didn't enforce their own edict on political advertising. I saw people passing out information there.
I'm sorry, I was busy all during the time, and I didn't see anybody until later that somebody was passing out information.
I have no problem with them doing it. It's just that if you set the regulations, that's what somebody ought to enforce them.
Yep. Dave?
A couple things. I understand that in a grievance situation, at some point, this gets kicked over to the delegation.
Personnel Committee.
And when does that happen? Can you just kind of walk us through how a grievance?
This is if he wants to appeal it, it goes to the chairman, vice chairman, and clerk of the delegation.
Okay.
And they will have a hearing and decide from their standpoint.
Okay. Who are the vice chair and the clerk? It's
Joe
Representative Umberger is the clerk, and
All right.
Representative
Fleck?
Fleck from Wakefield is the vice chairman. Betsy Patton is the chairman.
And is there any information about the Blue Loon that the commissioners want to discuss during their reports?
No,
Later time?
no.
Blue Moon is not a commissioner.
It's not a
No.
county, it's not a county.
County,
But it's been brought up at report time.
I know it
before.
has, for information purposes.
Right. There's no information purposes today?
No.
Okay.
No. Anybody else for public input? Yes, Maureen?
Are you done interviewing for a human resources
No.
position?
We have one more today.
Thank you.
That's what's on the agenda. Do you have any other questions, Maureen? No?
Okay.
Okay. Any other for public input? Yeah, Mr.
Rich.
Rich?
Commissioner Kenny, at the July 11th meeting, you had stated the facts that the IT contract ending March 31st of 2012 stipulated that new PC installations were to be billed at $300 per installation, and that the IT contract beginning April 1st, 2012 stipulated that new PC installations were part of that contract. You then went on to ask, and I quote, "With the understanding that April 1st the fee was going to be waived, but suddenly we had a million stuff to hook up," end quote, after which I told you I would investigate. In last week's meeting, I brought evidence that showed that we invoiced all new PC installations for last year's contract in December of 2011, not March of 2012, even though one of those invoices was not paid by the county until February 24th of 2012. And further, the one new installation that Cybertron did perform in March 2012 was in fact performed for free, even though at the time we were still under last year's contract, which allowed us to invoice for that installation. I still have a question on the table, Commissioner. Why did you twice state that there were, quote, thousands and thousands of dollars paid, end quote, and quote, in March, suddenly we had $1 million stuff to hook up?
Because that is the bill what I saw for a couple $1,000s. It was a hookup for installation fee, it was $300 a piece. It's a couple $1,000s. Most companies don't even charge a hookup fee of $300. That's a ridiculous fee. No one is doing that. You're the only company.
I disagree. It's quite a standard in our industry.
No, nobody's doing it. Couldn't find any company that's doing it. You're the only one.
Well,
They
it
were
was-
surprised that you were charging. They couldn't believe it. They said $300 for hooking up what? And with the understanding, April 1st, you said you were not going to charge it.
But again, those invoices were from December of last year, not in March. I didn't suddenly come up with anything in March. This was done months before that. Where is the thousands and thousands of dollars paid in March?
Didn't you? Well, I checked from March and I saw a couple $1,000s.
For, do you
For-
have
for
that information?
For hookup and installation.
Can I see that, please?
I didn't see the detail. I saw hookup and I saw the total numbers.
Can I have a copy of that, please? None of our records show that.
No, okay. I don't have it with me. I will bring it to you. I had a busy week.
Okay,
All done?
thank you.
Okay. Do you have any further questions regarding that issue?
Next
comments?
time. I have two other things to bring up.
Okay. This time or next time?
Next
Or-
time.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else got any public input? Yes, Mr. Brown?
Is there a policy on how grievances are to be handled?
Yes, there is.
There is. Why do all the grievances seem to be handled differently? And depending on, who's involved, you may never hear about them, or, other people, they're drawn out for 6 months. This latest grievance, this is, you got a letter from the superintendent from Belknap County? When was he here?
He was asked to investigate, and this will come out in the hearing this afternoon.
It-
I'd like to save those questions until this afternoon. I think they will be all answered. We have a list of things as they happened, and hopefully that will clear up any misunderstandings.
And who hired this attorney? I didn't ever saw anything in public session that you went out and hired an attorney.
What attorney?
You said there's gonna be counsel here today.
Yes,
When and who authorized the hiring of this attorney?
this is a recommendation of our counsel and our insurance company that we have an administrative hearing and administrative counsel to swear in any of those people that are witnesses or that are giving accusations, and also the victim has their opportunity to speak.
Is this attorney from the same firm as the Kenny investigation?
What was that? Was that
Sheen and Bass? Oh, no.
Schwartz?
Schwartz.
Schwartz, no, I don't think I don't know. I don't think so.
Yes, it is.
Yeah?
It is.
I believe it is, yes, it is. That was recommended by our attorney, Elizabeth Bailey.
She advised you to hire an attorney from the same firm.
He didn't say anything about a firm. I mean, didn't say anything about the firm, that's correct. She said hire Tom, I can't remember his name now, but he is from the same. The only thing I know about him, he was involved in our union contracts with the jail. When Mr. Flygott passed away, he took over the reins from there.
But the grievances are not being handled equally.
Well, it depends on what
who you are, and then your grievances are being, so that's why I asked if there's a policy that, how a grievance is supposed to be followed.
One is a harassment and one is a grievance. This happens to be a grievance.
But then, why aren't all the grievances being made public?
Because it's the advice of our council that they not be made public, except for this particular situation where Mr. Perry authorized it to become public. And so that's why we're going to have a administrative hearing so the public can hear, as well as we can then make a decision as a board.
But it's still not being followed the same. But you never heard anything about the grievance with Chippy,
With who?
Chip Albee. You never heard anything about his grievance. How much did that grievance cost us?
What is his grievance?
With
I
Deputy Thompson?
I'm sorry, but I'm not aware of that.
Oh.
If you could give me some information on it, I didn't realize.
Well,
there was
you
a
were here. Are you saying there was no grievance?
That's correct.
You're stating for the record that there was no grievance.
I don't recall any grievance against
But see how this is...
Commissioner Albee.
If there was a policy that how grievances are supposed to be handled, then they all should be handled the same way. Talk about political schemes.
You have the grievance, your policy
I
or
have the
something that you had
policy,
last
exactly.
time. Maybe you can give that to me.
I got a policy right here, grievance procedure policy.
Can I get a copy of that?
Is this
Sure
for
can.
is this for the non-union? Because it said,
It doesn't matter.
it is for
If it's
everyone?
union, then it has to go through a certain procedure. This is non-union.
This is non-union?
Yep. Yes, David?
Did the commission vote to hire this attorney, this Tom, I guess his name is Tom?
No.
Okay.
Because we didn't have time.
So why was there no vote taken?
We're going to take it right now?
What's
What?
that?
Are we going to take the vote now?
We'll take a vote when we get into regular session.
What do you mean you take a vote getting a regular session? You already hired him. He's coming here today as a council.
We can cancel it if the vote is not in the affirmative. It's at 2 o'clock. It's only 12.
Because you advertise it, I mean, there is paper there now.
I set it up correct.
Yeah, you didn't set it up correct. I mean, the press was invited last week. Everywhere there's papers floating around, public is invited. Everywhere is spreading around, there's a attorney coming. He's hired. He will be here at 2 o'clock. So who called him? Who hired him?
I did,
And who gave you the authority to hire
as
him?
chairman of the Board of Commissioners.
No, because this is a board. You need to vote. Who is going to pay for it?
We're going to vote when we go into regular
Who is
session.
going to pay for it? And if I read a grievance procedure, it said a commissioner hearing, and some people had grievances, they never came before the commissioners.
Because they were
I
taking
want to
care
tell
of it.
you once more, there's a difference between the harassment policy and a grievance policy.
Well, I have grievances here in front.
That's the grievance.
Yeah.
I like that. All right, he'll get a copy.
Oh,
That's my copy. Yes,
Is this the
Miss-
first opportunity you've had to convene as a board to vote whether or not you hired that attorney since Mr. Perry filed his grievance
Yes.
publicly? Have you met within the last week?
no,
No.
Okay, thank
No.
you. And also on Friday, I sent over a right-to-know request, and I'm sorry, I don't know if you've talked about it yet, as I came in a couple of minutes late. I only asked for the non-public.
I have not seen it.
Okay,
Where did you send it?
to the business office, through the email.
Did you see it?
no,
No.
I don't
Did
have
you see-
access to the commissioner's email.
I have not seen it.
Okay.
If you have a copy of it, or if you were willing to go downstairs to see if they've got a copy, we can take action on it.
I'm only requesting a copy of 2 sessions minutes. I can just tell you what I was looking for, if that's
Okay,
appropriate. The September 14th, non-public commissioners meeting minutes,
non-public?
correct? At that meeting, the commissioners voted to go into non-public for the purposes of personnel, jail security, and contracts. I'm interested only in the portion that relates to contracts.
Okay,
What was the date?
September 14th, non-public,
September.
dealing with contracts. What was the other one?
On September 21st, the Board of Commissioners voted to go into non-public for the purposes of personnel discipline and contracts. I'm only interested in the portion relating to contracts. That was it.
And you're referring to this year,
2011, yeah.
2011?
Yeah, September 14th and
Yeah.
21st, 2011.
Oh, that's right, we haven't got to
We're not
September
there
yet.
Thank you.
Any other public comment? We've reached our time to go into regular session, so we will do that now. First item that I'd like to report on is that Deborah Newland, who is our assistant HR person, has put out to everyone that a reminder that an exceptional upcoming training opportunity. Primex is again offering their Supervisors Academy, which remains their most highly acclaimed program. Academy will be held in Rochester, so travel shouldn't be a concern. This 4-day class will be split over 2 consecutive weeks on September 5th, 6th, 12th, and the 13th. The Academy is a comprehensive program for current or newly appointed supervisors. Upon successful completion of this program, participants will receive 2.4 CEUs credits. And we have a copy of the curriculum, so this went out to all of the department heads. And there's a list of items that is included here. Okay, do you have anything to report on?
No.
Okay. I guess we can't talk about the minutes because our clerk is not here. All of you are aware that there will be an administrative hearing at 2 o'clock in this room. Everyone has had proper hearing and notification to be here. There are certain guidelines that we will follow, and I will explain those at 2 o'clock. And we'll go from there. Do you have any minutes that you'd like to take action on?
I have several, but I think we may have to just wait until
All right, we'll wait and let's
Commissioner
have,
Kenny comes back.
first item on here, we'll go back to the minutes when she comes back. Will and Wendy, you're first on the agenda.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
It is indeed.
Oh, no, that's all right, I'll stand. You asked about Farm Day and how it went.
Sure.
Yeah,
We don't have chairs enough, huh? Okay, go ahead.
that's okay.
There's a chair over here, there's an extra chair over here. Take.
Okay, well, I'll come over there then.
Okay.
Move the pocketbook to the floor.
Oh, that's all right, I'll just go over here.
All right.
Yeah, well, I think overall the day went really well. We had people keeping track at the information desk. We had over 300 people come to Farm Day. We had about 10 different workshops going on. I think you were busy all day with beekeeping. We also had blueberries, food preservation, chainsaw safety, raising chickens, blacksmithing, sheep shearing, garden pests. Will did a session on raising pigs, tool sharpening. Bob Murray gave tours of the pellet plant. Dave Babson, Mike Maines, and Dave Senegal gave hay wagon rides around the property. We had an Ask a Master Gardener booth, and had, I think, 3 different 4-H clubs that were participating. They did a whole bunch of kids' activities, farm chore relay, which seems to have been a lot of fun for the kids, and then also birdhouse building.
Yeah.
And then we had a number of farm-related vendors and farm stands. So that's overall, I think, we had a lot of people come and volunteer, and the weather cooperated, so
Yes.
that was a really good thing.
It was a good day.
Yeah, so feedback that I have gotten so far has been good. We had the Granite State Dairy Promotion do free ice cream all day, and there was always a line at the ice cream place, so.
I was amazed that if they were giving out free ice cream.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if everybody's aware of their organization and what they do, but it's actually paid for. There's about 128 dairy farms left in the state of New Hampshire, and that's all paid for by the dairy farmers. And all the ice cream is made down in Manchester, I think she said, and then all the milk is produced and bottled up in North Haverhill area to go to that event to help promote.
So milk was given out free also?
Yes,
Yep.
yep.
Chocolate milk and white milk both, and many varieties of ice cream.
I have to say, I just tasted from my husband's ice cream, and he said it was the best
Come on,
chocolate ice cream
Dottie.
he ever had.
Come on.
No, I did. I had 2
You don't expect us
spoonfuls.
to believe that, do you?
I had a big cup.
Yeah.
It was delicious.
Yeah, apparently the milk came from Hatchland Farm, and the ice cream came from Blake Creamery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 questions I have is, was there some reason we didn't have any signs out at Route 28 or out at 28 and 16?
Yes.
Yes.
There was, you couldn't have them?
You can't do that now. They've apparently changed, in the last year, have changed, DOT's changed around their districts, and they shut down the local garage. The gentleman that used to run the local garage used to let us put them out there. Now we can't. We did, not knowing this, and then they ended up, instead of courteously dropping them by, they decided to take them back to their shop in Tuftonboro, and we're taking our signs to the dump until we happen to show up and retrieve them. So that was why we didn't have any out there. We tried to get as many businesses on 16 here and there. We had one down on our property. We had the log cut a couple of years ago. We had one down there.
Yeah.
So we tried to get it out as much as we can, but avoid the intersections because they're not allowing that now.
Okay. Good reason, I guess.
That did come back on, we got a couple of evaluations back, and they, people, some people said signage was great, some people said they had trouble finding it, so, but that was the issue that we had.
I think you had good publicity in newspapers and so
Yeah.
forth.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
And on the radio?
Yes.
The OKQ, I believe I heard it on there.
Yeah, I know Klaus did one of those talk show things and was promoting Farm Day.
Okay. I didn't hear whether I won anything.
Yeah, I want to know, how big was the pig?
The pig was 73.8 pounds.
I was close.
Someone guessed, the person that guessed 75 pounds was the closest. So, on that. We did good. One of the things I wanted to mention was that something that we've been kind of struggling with in the first few years, which I think we did excellent with this year, is to get the whole thing started. The Farm Bureau, Carroll County Farm Bureau, donated $1,000 to get us started, which was great. We've been slowly eating away at that, and my concern was to make enough money, keeping it small, but make enough money to offset our expenses, which, like this year, included the porta potty. We did have to pay for the ice cream thing to come, a small stipend for that, and then any of the signage and different advertisements types of costs. So this year, I think we came awful close. Wendy and I haven't added it all up yet, but I added up what we got from the raffle and donations, and then we have the vendors, and I think we're going to be awful close to covering all our expenses this year with what money came in, which is nice, not to be eating away at that savings account basically that we have for the day. We had a lot of local businesses in the area that donated things for the raffle, along with the vendors that were here. that donated. So it was very nice of the different businesses in the community to contribute to the event.
And I will say to the comment that came up earlier, that if anyone was seen handing out political information, they were asked to stop. Some of our advisory council members went up and asked people to not hand out information. You know, that they were welcome to be there, but we didn't want people actively handing out information.
Okay.
So, you know, people might have seen it for a little while, but we did try to catch it early on if we did see it.
Okay. How did the vendors do, the market, farmers market people? Do you know?
I talked with Chris from Windy Farms, and he was very happy with how the day went, and, you know, said he'd look forward to coming back. So, you know, I walked around to the other booths and just checked in on how people were doing. You know, overall, people seemed happy with the day, you know, and the turnout for the day.
Okay.
So
Good. Bob, how did things go with the pellet?
I had 25, 30 people come through the pellet plant. Everybody seemed impressed.
Good.
I was pleased.
Anybody else? Public comments? Mr. Babson?
Yeah. Next year, I just don't understand how a year in advance we ended up on the same day as the as the Shermans.
Sherman Farm.
yeah, I don't know how that happened. You know, we checked specifically with the Huggins Hospital Fair. We knew that one was one that we wanted to avoid. You know, didn't see if there were other events. Tamworth also had a sort of community day, but we weren't aware of those things when we scheduled. But that's something to definitely check next year with Sherman's.
I think at some point too, we can't avoid every event going on, unfortunately, but Sherman's would be a good one not to be on the same day.
Are we going to have a meeting to go over?
Yes.
When will that be, do you know?
We haven't set a date yet. We're looking toward the end of August, beginning of September to sort of debrief on everything that happened and look at, you know, things to improve, that sort of stuff for next year.
Could you tell me what other departments participated in this from the standpoint of cooperating and joining in on the event?
The nursing home folks have
Friends from
been
Mountain View.
involved. They had volunteers there all day selling hamburgers, hot dogs, that sort of thing, and then also ran our raffle for us. So, they were.
Sandy was there for a good chunk of the day, helping with the raffle also and setting it all up for us. That's pretty much that I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah, well, beyond that, you know, the Wood for the Birdhouse activity, that all came from the county farm, and the inmates and the farm crew cut all of that up for that activity as well.
How many of those were done?
We did 25, and I think all of them got made, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a number of people walking out with bird cages.
Yeah.
Bird houses, not cages.
I know my kids had fun putting one together, so I don't think my wife's thumb did, but
Did they bring you home a message
yes,
about removing 3 rocks?
yes.
Okay.
I
Maureen?
can speak to the Friends. Henry was very busy from 9:30 in the morning to 3 in the afternoon flipping burgers. And I think the final tally, I think there's 2 bills that have to be paid, but the Friends netted about $700.
Really?
Great.
And that. And my niece ran the relay things, and she was
Yep.
exhausted when I saw her.
Yes.
Just
They
a
had
comment
a good time.
on Henry and his cooking was excellent, but those hamburgers were absolutely delicious.
Oh,
They really were.
Yeah,
They were about the best I've had in a long time.
Good quality meat, huh?
that was
Yeah,
good.
he ran home and immediately took a shower because he said, "Oh, it smells like almost like his hamburgers."
Well, I'm sorry, I was tied up with people at my event, and for the first time, I didn't get around to see anybody, but apparently it went well, so that's great.
And I do have to make a comment, David. Henry also saw people handing out flyers, and it got stopped as soon as somebody was aware of it. So I think it was pretty well policed.
Okay. Jack?
I only have one regret. I had to leave about 12 o'clock to get my wife to work. But I was disappointed that there wasn't more people there. I don't know if that's the first time I'd gone to the farm day, but I was disappointed that there wasn't a bigger crowd.
I think,
And I think it was well publicized, and it's a shame. It was a great day. I really enjoyed it.
I think the
Great raffle
reason,
here. I even won something in the raffle. So.
I think the reason that you feel there weren't enough people there was the weather. It looked like it was going to rain all day. It was overcast all day, and so.
Yeah, but that's New England, you can't do that. You know what I mean?
Well,
Wait 10 minutes and it'll change, right?
But I'm just giving you what I believe is why people didn't come in the numbers that they may have. I think last year we had.
around 500 last
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
So I think that it was the weather conditions that kept them.
Do you apply to get people more vendors? And do you solicit vendors? Or
We send out to all of the farms of Carroll County that are listed in that publication, as well as people that have participated in the past, some of like Clark's and North Country Tractor, that sort of thing. I think one of the challenges we have for some of the farm stand vendors is a lot of farmers markets are on Saturday morning, and my understanding is that when people sign up to do a farmers market, they have to be there every Saturday, and so, there are conflicts there and getting some of those folks.
That was one of my other comments, I'm sorry, Jack, that I had quite a few friends that were going to do it, but they had commitments. They were going to decide. We have 2 farmers markets going on in Effingham, the ones in Tamworth, so a lot of the people that would have done it were already committed elsewhere.
Right.
So I think you're going to have to think about that for next year, too.
Yeah, it's hard to avoid, but I guess my personal opinion is I like to have some of the farmers market vendors come in there because I think that's great for the event, but also the event should be more about just the farmers market, because you can go every week to these to these farmers markets. We should have other things that are, it's nice to have them there, and I'm grateful for the ones that came, but we want to make the event more than just centered around them. Right, have other things, educational, the fun, the 4-H things, the animals. You don't get to go to a farmer's market every Saturday and see animals out there or things like that. So I think instead of trying to narrow down just certain vendors, it would be nice to have a broader spec for people, because it's not something that happens every week.
Well, friends of mine have animals and they spin and do all that stuff, and now they're taking that to the farmers markets too, because that's 2 of the people that I asked.
All right.
That was what they could have demonstrated that.
Huh?
But unfortunately, they committed themselves elsewhere because they could make the money there.
Yeah.
They felt, so that
Yeah.
was, those are the people I was talking about, is not selling food.
Oh, yeah.
I learned a lot about honeybees. I can tell
You did?
that. Oh my God.
Well, that's good.
That was quite an education.
Everybody likes to hear about honeybees, no matter where you are,
I was really impressed.
whether you're at a dinner with people
Changing jobs and
or.
everything, I just think
Yeah.
that's really amazing.
Right. If I could, on behalf of the Board of Commissioners, thank Cooperative Extension and Farm Bureau and the county farm people for putting the time and effort into the farm day. I think it's important to have that from an educational standpoint. I think it's good to have people come down to see the farm operation. I hope next year that we have a path that they could also take around the fields and so forth, which would be an added event maybe. But I think it was, from my standpoint, I didn't get to see everything, but I think it was well done, and thank you very much for
Thank you.
your efforts. Okay.
Thank you.
Anything else you want to say, or nothing?
No.
Okay.
I think that, actually, I would like to say that I think Wendy deserves an extra thank you this year too, because we don't have they're down 1 staff member up there, and I think that she stepped in really well this year and picked up a lot of that slack from that extra team member being down. So just would want to give Wendy an extra thank you for her part this year and what she did.
Good. And I was glad to see the proposed pathway on display.
Yeah.
That was good. Hopefully that will maybe generate some interest.
Yeah.
And by the way, the Friends of Mountain View, the 501c3 group would like to come in and give a presentation for funds to go towards that path. So we will try to arrange that at this kind of a meeting where it can be given some publicity as well.
Great.
Okay? Mr. Babson?
Thank you. I don't know how many people riding in my wagon, thought the wood out back is what we were burning at the nursing home, and when I told them no, we were burning pellets, wanted to know if the wood was for sale and how much it was, so maybe next year we put a sign on it, so much a cord delivered, so
Okay.
people know.
It's not on our website, is that correct? Correct, Will?
To be honest, I haven't been on our website in a long time. It
Okay.
was.
It was on there?
It was
Okay.
on there. I know back when Stephanie was here, she kept updated on it.
Mhm.
I don't know, I know with a lot of the HR stuff going on, how they've been
Yep.
extremely busy. I'm not sure who takes care of the website now.
Yep.
So I haven't, that's something.
Debbie does.
Debbie does, okay. I assume she does, and I assume she's been busy.
Yeah.
It may be on there, I just haven't checked with her. It's something that I do need to update.
Didn't at one time you reported that you had plenty of people purchasing firewood for heating their homes, and that you weren't producing enough, and now that we are going more towards campfire wood at the state parks, that we really don't have a lot to sell? Or am I wrong?
I would say yes and no. It seems to come in waves. We, at times, what I'm trying to do is, as we get a woodcut done, to have more, to get ahead so we have more so we can sell more. We've sort of been scraping by with the, $15,000 that we get a year to buy wood in, and just have that to work with. That's kind of limited us, but last year I think I mentioned that there was a lot of sales that came in off of recommendations from other customers, that we had seen an increase in that last year because of the quality of our wood, and so yes and no. Sometimes we have plenty, sometimes we're low. It just kind of depends on who calls and how the orders go. And I do try to keep, a big portion of our sales also goes to the Tri-County CAP. There's not very many vendors that help with the fuel assistance that deal with wood. There's only a few in the county, and we're one of them. So I do try to keep wood open, available for those folks also.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much for your
Thank you.
your efforts and your reports. Sandy?
Today, our census was 101 residents. We've had 2 deaths in the last few days, and 2 bed offers have been made. We're waiting to hear back. We have 22 private residents, 3 Medicare residents, 4 Medicaid pending, and 72 Medicaid. We heard from the Medicaid office of the state having to do with audits, et cetera. Every few years, they come and conduct an audit and reference our cost report to our actual invoices, et cetera. They're planning on coming on Monday, August 6th, and they've asked me to set aside a week for them.
When you say audit, is that going to tie up a lot of our people?
We already have a list of what kinds of documents they're looking for.
Okay.
And Paula has the list, has spoken to Robin Grill, one of the auditors that we use, and so we should be prepared. But it takes a little time to collect them. They may also be looking to take a tour. I know that when Jonathan McCosh from the auditing program came prior to our opening, or just after we opened, they wanted to see all of the new equipment that we had purchased, the large capital pieces. I believe they do another audit just to make sure that those large pieces are still here. Now, I can't imagine anyone removing them, but there may be some survey as well. Our application for our 2013 licensure is here. I need signatures on both copies, and I will pass that over. We'd like to mail that in today if possible. And that's a application that we do every year. It just states the number of beds we have, and it's required by the state. My license, Dr. Lewis's license, who's the medical director.
So you need 2 commissioners' signatures on this, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay. I hear a motion that we sign this application.
I move to sign the applications as presented.
I'll second it. Any further discussion? All those in support of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye, so voted.
Our medical director will be returning from his sabbatical the end of August. Dr. Rose has been filling in, our interim medical director from during his absence from March. We thank Dr. Rose for his assistance, and I expect Dr. Lewis back, I believe, August 22nd. Our residents, 6 in number, went off to on the bus today to a Fisher Cat game. They're all excited.
Who did? Who went? I'm sorry.
Residents.
Residents?
6 of them, yeah.
6?
Yep. So they were happy about that. And then I asked Bob to come to talk about our carpet in the Mount Washington room.
We are still waiting for our carpet, basically. We know that we've had trouble getting the carpet installed. The patterns haven't lined up, and we're on, I believe, round 3. And they're in the process of installing that now. And
Today, you mean?
they're here right now as
Yeah,
we
okay.
speak. They're laying down carpet, and we have rejected that carpet as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Now, before, they rejected it, right?
It didn't even make it off the assembly line.
Okay.
The last time that they were here to install carpets, it's funny to say it like that, but was, 4 months ago? And since then, they've made a couple of batches. They've never made it off the assembly line before being rejected. Finally, they thought they had one right. Not so. So,
So we rejected it?
yeah, we did.
For
It's-
what
it-
reasons?
The patterns.
Patterns.
The pattern?
Yeah, the pattern doesn't line up. It's like a bad golf swing.
Hmm.
It's
Now,
nice
this
and
is from a
straight.
reliable firm, right?
Mohawk. They're
Mohawk?
huge. They're huge. They're global. You've got one pattern in one direction that lines up nice, but in 90 degrees the other direction, it just drifts off, and that's unacceptable. So they're putting it down because we have to have something on the floor. But we wanted to let you know that we're still in the hunt for our carpet.
And the solution may be the squares, but again, this is not at our expense. But we moved in last September, and we've been struggling with
Yeah.
this for almost a year. So
Yeah.
this has been a difficult time.
I got to say that the people have been, very forthcoming. They've been doing everything that they can to get it right. They just haven't gotten it right.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Okay.
The elevator inspections just happened today too, our annual inspection that passed. We're good for another year. The fire alarm inspection is happening as we speak. They're here this week doing that as well. So far, so good.
When is the sprinkler system tested? Do they do that?
Tri-State comes quarterly and inspects our sprinkler system, and we're current.
Okay. Are there any other items that need to be cleaned up regarding the building that has not been done? Has the hood, was it upstairs on the second floor, been?
That's been finished.
Finished?
Yeah, that was finished
Okay.
and programmed into the fire alarm system Monday, I believe.
Okay.
That's done, complete. I have a report.
Has anything or anyone looked at the sidewalks? Do you know?
The general contractor has, Chris
Yeah.
Cass, Jim Cass. They've come down and looked at them, but I guess it's in the hands of the engineer right now. the engineer who designed the drainage system
Right.
and who designed the sidewalks.
Point of interest, Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
What is wrong with the sidewalks?
The
Well, I
side-
think during the winter, we had some freezing and thawing.
Yeah, the
and it
sidewalks
lifted the
heaved.
sidewalk.
Is it cracking?
No.
No, they heaved, they
Just-
lifted.
Simple
Oh,
as-
okay.
They lifted, they came up an inch,
Yep.
but they didn't go down an inch
Oh,
In relation to the next panel or
in relation to the curbing.
to the
Yeah.
curbing?
Yeah, if you look at the curbing and where the sidewalk meets, you're off about almost a half an inch in some places. It never settled. The problem that they have is there's good drainage under there, but apparently some water got in underneath, it froze, lifted the sidewalks, and they never came back down, so it's in the engineer's hands right now. That's the only information I have. A gentleman from Bonnet Page and Stone is here today, taking care of a couple of the smaller items that we have.
Mhm.
Nothing really seems to be very serious. I mean, I've got a crack in the sidewalk that he's fixing. A few smaller items,
Okay.
but somebody is here today, actively working on it.
You've had some visitors from Veterans Administration.
I did. I
And-
don't have any report from them, but they came out last week. The general contractor that those people are.
Adam Mitchell.
Yeah, Adam Mitchell came down with a plumber, an electrician, a demolition man, and they came in toward the building. I showed them everything I could. They seemed to be pleased with what they saw. I know that they're putting some numbers together for
Yes.
you.
Yep.
I don't know when they're going to do that, but they seemed happy with what they saw.
Okay. I came across a umpire over Madison, and one of the players mentioned to me that he was contacted to put a bid in for cupboards in the dietary area. So I said, gee, that must mean that something's moving along, and if they're crunching numbers, that's good.
Yeah,
We're talking about the old nursing home,
I've been-
Veterans Administration perhaps using it?
I've been in contact with, not the Veterans Administration, this is for Veterans Foreign Wars Post 46.
Okay.
And I have been in contact with both Adam Mitchell and Commander Larry Ayers, and they will be in soon. Apparently, the commander had a lot of events going on last month that he could not, he had to handle, and he couldn't come in for. And then they were getting their numbers together, but I think they will be in sometime this month. I advised them that they should come in. They should be prepared to go to present at the August 27th meeting for the delegation, and it would be better that they come in before that to present to us. We'll see
Good.
what happens.
Good. Okay. Sandy, you got anything else? As most of you know, Sandy has turned in a resignation. And I'd like to read a statement from the commissioners. It is with regret that the Board of Commissioners accept the resignation of Sandy Mckenzie. Effective date of last employment is August 31st, 2012. Sandy has done an outstanding job as administrator of the Carroll County Nursing Home and now the Mountain View Community. She has admitted on several occasions that she didn't do it all by herself, that it was a team effort, but who was there, or who led the team in a positive way? She did. We can't forget the efforts she put in making the smooth transition from the old to the new home. Her organization skills were apparent during the successful moving day. She cut expenses and increased revenue, making the home become more efficient in its operation. She addressed employee issues in a timely manner, set up meetings with the union representatives, and her door was always open for employees and visitors. Her priority was, as we would expect, was the concerns for the residents in providing necessary services for their benefit, making sure they were given the best care. She spent extra hours in not only doing her job, but filled in on occasion when there was a shortage of staff, whether it be on a holiday or a weekend. She came to commissioners' meetings well-prepared to discuss the week happenings at the home. If she didn't have the answers, she was able to get them to us as soon as possible. We can't say enough. Excuse me. We can't say enough about this lady who has been professional in every way in serving the people of Carroll County. Thank you for your dedication, your passion, and your positive approach to the job. We surely will miss you, Sandy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, Jack?
Mr. Commissioner, is it reasonable to ask why?
Because of health reasons. Okay. I'm sorry, I didn't mention.
Sorry to hear that.
Let's see. I guess maybe we need to go into public comments again, because we're going to go into a non-public for the last interview for the HR position. And then we will adjourn to 2 p.m. for the administrative hearing, which will be open to the public. So at this point in time, I'd like to open it up for public input.
Don't we have to do some minutes?
We got some minutes, okay, we'll do that. But I did open it up, so go ahead with, anybody that's got any public comments? Yes.
How long has Cindy been here? About 3 years?
2009.
As administrator, you mean?
Yes.
Sandy, how many?
I came as an interim administrator in January of 2009, and I believe I was appointed full-time administrator at the end of April.
Anybody, any other further public comments? All right, let's do some minutes then.
I have the non-public minutes from July 25th, 2012.
Non-public?
Yep. And with the signature.
Not quite. I guess I need some help from the board as to what we do with these, because at the administrative hearing at 2 o'clock, a lot of this material will be coming out because it's been made public. Could I suggest that these not be sealed? Or if we want to seal them, then we need to unseal them, because I don't want to get caught in the middle whereby these are non-public minutes, but yet he has opened it up to the public. And a lot of these things that are in here will be brought up and discussed.
I don't think if I can follow you. This is non-public and you want to release them?
I don't think we need to, wait a minute, let's see what's
Those are
happening.
sealed.
Okay, I guess what I'm looking for
Those are
is
sealed
to,
minutes.
these have already been approved and sealed.
No, we're going to approve them now.
They've been sealed.
We,
They haven't been approved.
I think this has two parts. I think last week you already been through this. But we're going to approve that.
Yes,
That's the
yes.
first part, we did that.
Yep,
And
Okay.
today we're doing the second part.
well, again, we moved to seal them. So maybe what I'm asking
It's to unseal.
to do is to unseal these minutes so
Why
that,
would you do that? That is security, that is jail issues.
Well, then perhaps we just have to unseal some of it.
I think we ought to unseal those minutes, non-public minutes that pertain to Mr. Perry. He has brought it, made it available to the public. He wanted the public to become aware of the situation. these, a lot of this that's in here pertain to his issues.
I don't think so. I think the grievance that he filed was against the commissioners about the procedures and about certain policies not followed.
That's
So
true.
this has nothing to do with it.
Well, it certainly does.
That is the part that he wants to make public. It's clearly in his grievance. That is what he's talking about. He wanted to have an investigation. What are you going to do? Is he going to get an investigation?
Mhm.
And who's going
Well-
to look in that policies are not followed? Has nothing to do with all this jail security. This is different.
No, sure,
But he didn't ask for this to be public. So
he didn't ask for this to
I-
be
I
public, but
don't
he
know what
came
you're
out
talking
being
about.
public. And in order to address his issues,
Much of this is
we
gonna come
and the
out.
people need to know what he is accused of. How
He-
can we not discuss that?
He filed a grievance for the procedure, that he didn't have an investigation.
And
He's
so-
asking for an investigation. If you read his grievance, let me see if I have it.
But this says, this gives
This is
reasons
issues.
why certain things happen. Now, he's complaining that the process wasn't handled. Well, we've got documentation whereby we had the hearings set, he canceled, wasn't prepared, and so forth. And it all pertains to this whole system of the issues that he is accused of. I don't know how we cannot discuss the whole situation
I don't understand.
that he has made public.
I don't understand the process. I think that he brought it clear in the paper is that the letter, that it was not the investigation. That's the process, what I'm understanding, so I don't know. You're talking about whole something else.
Commissioner Solomon, what's your take?
I think there are some things that we will not be able to deal with that may very well be security issues. On the other hand, I don't know how we're going to talk about what his grievance is if we don't talk about what the problem was. So I think we are in quite a bind here, and I honestly don't know how we're going to get around this. And I think that's why we have to deal with this attorney that's going to be there to just make sure that we do not do anything that is incorrect and may have a problem for us at some future time.
And how much is the cost of the attorney?
I know we haven't got that far yet.
You just said in the morning, or not too long ago, that you hired him. Now you said you didn't get that far yet.
We haven't approved of him being here.
But you said you as the chairman have the authority, that you did hire him.
I still say there's certain things in here that needs to be discussed as to why certain things were delayed. And there were some inaccuracies in here that need to be corrected. I'm reading portions of this. It's got to be discussed this afternoon.
May I ask you a question, Mr. Chairman?
I will accept it. Go ahead, Mr.
If this
Babson.
is a if this gentleman has asked this grievance or hearing to be public,
Yeah.
why is there anything that's going to be considered non-public? I mean, it's entirely off the subject. Why?
That's what I'm trying to
To me,
say.
it should be, you give your case, he gives his case, and anything that comes in between comes out on the table.
Yeah.
I don't know, he filed a grievance and he put specifically the things in, and I thought that was going to be investigated. Now he turned it whole around and tried to go after the employee, basically.
Excuse me, I
No,
don't think
wait
he
a
said
minute.
that at all.
Now, that's,
Nobody said that.
we're not going after him. We're trying to give him a fair and honest time to present his case. He has brought it out to the public. The public deserves to know the whole situation as to what happened, why it happened, and so forth.
And who's going to look in the policies and the rules what were violation?
Who's going to do it?
Look in the policies and the rules what was violated.
We, as a Board of
Who's-
Commissioners,
who's-
under the grievance policy,
You're going to investigate your own grievance yourself?
Well,
let
then
me
what do
read
you
the,
choose?
let me read the very last paragraph under the grievance procedure. The county commissioners will schedule a hearing within 10 working days after receiving the grievance, and a decision in writing will be made within 5 working days after the hearing. The commissioner's decision will be final. It's right in our policy.
Yeah.
Now,
So
in
everyone.
order to get to, I mean, it took place on May 26th and 27th. Here we are, August 1st. We need to explain why it wasn't done in a timely manner. And the only way to do that is to lay it out and make sure that all of the non-public minutes that we held for this hearing comes out in the public. We need to explain our side of the story. I would make a motion that we unseal any of the non-public minutes that pertain to Mr. Perry. Do I hear a second?
Yes, but with the caveat that if
You
there's...
second it?
I will second
Okay,
it
now for the discussion.
with the caveat that if there's anything in that that may be
Detrimental?
detrimental or should be not in the public purview, that be taken out. In other words, if there's any safety issues or security issues,
Okay.
those should be
Yep.
taken out.
Yep.
But
Yeah,
everything
because,
else-
security of inmates is mentioned in here.
Yeah, so that sort of thing cannot be open, but the rest of it can.
Okay. Any further discussion? If not, all those in support of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, nay.
I oppose.
Okay, then so voted.
Is that 2-1?
2-1. I take it you don't want that discussed in public?
Yes,
Okay.
but this is about issues in a jail and a lot of security things.
When we
I don't
get,
think it's appropriate to just
Well, I just said
release
that.
those. It's
I-
almost all of it. I don't know what you're gonna take out.
when it gets down to security of the jail,
If there's
that
anything,
will be taken out.
yes, if there's anything in there that directly,
And any reputations that, of anybody that may be in those minutes, that they be protected. Okay? I opened it up, I guess, so Melissa, go ahead.
I was just going to say, will those be released after you've had an opportunity to review with the attorney what you can actually
Yes.
release now that you've unsealed them?
yes.
so we'll wait until you
Yes.
attorneys had a chance to.
I'm hoping that at 2 o'clock, everything will come out. Anything that's in those will be discussed.
Thank you.
I
Jack?
think that's the point, Mr. Chairman. You're gonna have a whole new set of minutes as a result of what actually comes out in the hearing.
Right.
And if one of those were sealed, it could be duplicated
Yep,
at the hearing.
yep,
So it's kind of irrelevant, right?
yeah, I think so. Mr. Babson?
I believe last week, Mr. Perry stated that you folks had broken many state RSAs and county ordinances.
Correct.
I would appreciate if you have the opportunity to ask him what those were.
Yep.
Oh, we will do that as a matter of fact.
Anybody, any other public input?
There is another part, so how do you want to do that? This part, you want to release this too?
Yeah.
So we release just July 25th, 2 sets?
This was done in non-public. It came out in public because she has told all her employees that she was resigning. So this was a letter to us in non-public that, well, I need a motion to release this then.
I so moved to release the second part of the non-public.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay. Motion made and seconded that we release the public, non-public minutes regarding Sandy McKenzie. All those in support of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. I assume that it's unanimous, so approved. So I'll read it. Dear Commissioners, it is with a heavy heart that I write to inform you of my retirement plans. My last day will be on August 31st. This decision is based on my health. As you are aware, I have been very ill over the past 3 months and have come to the realization that I need to take care of myself. It has been an honor and a pleasure to work with you, the staff, the residents, and families of Mountain View Community. I have learned a great deal. Best regards, Sandy McKenzie. Okay. Do we have any other minutes?
We have the public minutes.
Yes.
Okay.
Are we going to do it? Is it public input now?
No,
Do you want to
public
approve
minutes.
those minutes?
Go over the
Yeah,
public
but I
minutes.
thought you said it was public input.
No,
We gave everybody a chance.
Oh, it's done? Okay.
Do we have any more minutes?
Yeah, we have from, I believe, last week. Did I give it to you? Do you have this? I have one little thing at page 1. It is a word I was not clear what he said. He said, due to the action of this, does he mean course? I don't know what.
no, it's a court.
Is that court?
Who is he?
Okay.
Who is he that you're referring to, so I can find it?
By Perry.
First paragraph.
The first paragraph at page 1. If you read, it is his wish that his griefs be put to the actions of this. Do you know what he's saying?
I believe it should, I made several
Is it
corrections.
course?
I made several corrections here. I believe it should state, as mandated under New Hampshire RSA 28, due to their actions concerning his grievance. We have to put this in the second person because you don't have any quotation marks here, so it has to be in the second person. Due to his, to him, as mandated under, okay, due to his harassment grievance against CCDOC. So he's referring to, I don't know what course, I don't know what you're asking about.
I don't know what it is. I think he meant course, maybe.
Course.
I don't know.
Where do you, I don't even see the word.
Oh, I see.
Or is it of this,
It
or maybe
is
this
his
board?
wishes that
Maybe
this
he said
grievance be
board.
handled publicly due to the actions of this.
Of this board,
It should
maybe.
be board and not court.
Yeah, board. I just put it in.
You know that it is full, I put it this way. Yeah. Oh,
Do you have any other questions?
no, that's my own.
Do you have any questions?
Oh, I have one, but they're all basically having to do with, having to do with just grammatical things.
Okay.
But I do have a question.
Where are you?
No, I don't have a question. I found it.
What was the date on? Can I have it?
Yes, on Commissioner Kenny,
July.
under Commissioner Kenny, now my page numbers will be different than yours, but this comes after Debbie Newland,
Yep.
and it says Commissioner Kenny.
Commissioner Kenny.
She reported on the state's finance committee.
Right.
Chapter Law 125, laws of 2011, SP 147, DHHS implementing care management in 3 steps. Step 1, this year, 2012, everyone who is receiving Medicaid formal health care. What is formal health care?
Receiving Medicaid health care?
Medicaid formal health
You
care.
want to take formal out?
I don't know what formal means.
Yeah, I don't know,
You just
I
want
have
former.
my letter, so why I read. So I will give it immediately.
And then it says,
then correct
step
it.
2, in 2013, the program becomes mandatory for everyone to receive Medicaid. Everyone? There has to be a restriction on that. I think it's 133% over poverty, but not everyone is going to be able to get Medicaid, I'm sure of that.
Why don't we put, instead of everyone, put many?
And then it says in step 3, 2014, affordable health care for all different income levels, $15,000 for a single person, $30,000 for a family of 4. I don't know what affordable means in that sense.
I don't know, check it my letter. I don't think I say that, I have to check it out.
Let me see that. I can make changes.
Well, she goes on to say,
I can
though,
write it in. Do you want me to write it here?
that there's still many questions. It will take time to implement these steps. So, Commissioner Kenny, would you be willing to take out, I lost it. Take out everyone and put many in there?
Wait a minute. I have my notes here, so I want to see what I said. Okay. Okay, so where was it? We here have
It's
state's
on
finance.
the last page.
State finance meeting. It should
Right
be
here, it
actually.
says everyone. Would you
Yeah,
be
it
willing to
should be,
change that?
it should be SB 147
Change that to many?
this year. I don't even have it there. This year, I thought I read it loud enough, but you don't have it. This year, oh, you just put 2012, okay.
Does it say everyone gets Medicaid? or-
No, I said this year the program includes everyone who's receiving Medicaid-funded healthcare with some exceptions.
Former?
With,
So we're saying former healthcare?
Funded healthcare.
Oh,
The
funded.
program includes everyone who is receiving Medicaid-funded healthcare with some exceptions. This is the first year.
So formal,
The
right?
other one is SB 147.
Funded.
Is formal correct?
Funded.
Word is funded, she's saying, not formal.
Funded rather
Yeah.
than formal?
I said funded, yeah.
Okay.
But she just put formal.
Yeah, just
Okay.
put funded above it.
Yeah.
You have any
And
other?
the step 2, did you have it good? I said the program becomes mandatory for everyone receiving Medicaid, no opting out. Medicaid waiver and nursing home services are added.
Okay, then you go on to say.
And did you put step 3? Oh, you
Yeah.
did put step 3. 2014 Affordable Care Act allows states to expand Medicaid to include adults who fall below certain income levels. $15,000 a year for single, $30,000 a year for a family of 4. And then I had another note, but you didn't put it. No, that's fine.
Do you want to email
You
that
want
to
me
me
to-
and put all that in there?
Yeah, it's
So
not.
it's just
it's not
condensing
much,
it.
so I'm going to try to do it just after the meeting.
Okay.
Yeah. Can you read my handwriting if
I think I can.
I make the changes? Okay. Oh,
Okay.
this is,
So, what do you want to do with these minutes?
so.
July 25th.
We're going to approve it as corrected.
You make that motion?
Yeah, motion to approve the July 25th, 2012 minutes as corrected.
I'll second it. Any further discussion? All those in support of the motion say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimous.
Okay, you gave me a set. Was this it?
What's that one?
So you put the corrections in, and now we have to look at it, approve it,
Exactly.
approve
That's what you
it.
did.
Okay, but I have a couple of little things again.
Which
Not
minutes
many.
we talking about?
The March 28, where she put corrections in.
I thought that was already done.
Yeah, but she gave it back to me. Yeah.
I corrected it and then sent her back a copy.
Okay. So these are all
Okay,
correct?
so this is done, but I think a couple of minor things. I think I already corrected, but I don't see it in it,
Let me
maybe.
see what ones.
If you look at page 1, said Commissioner Kenny, it was something about, I changed that, it's also here. I need to change this again. Correction in the minutes that she does not know who broke into the cabinet. You said that she knows. It does not know. Yeah, I already corrected it, but I think,
What is,
is that the set? Maybe this is a different,
no, but.
the name
No,
is
it's-
Myers.
So what's the spelling of it? I don't.
This, Y-E-R-S.
Okay,
I
no
already-
one's ever told me.
Whose name is
I
that?
already corrected it one time.
Excuse me, whose name is that?
Where are we?
Is that
Oh,
David
and-
Myers you're talking about?
No,
No,
we were
Chris.
talking
Chris
about the
Myers is
attorney.
M-E-I-R-S.
That's what I have there.
No, you have M-E-I-R.
S. Myers.
You have no S. I thought that his name was M-Y-E-R-S.
No, it is not.
No?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
So then you have to put the S
That's-
only then.
Are we ready to approve those minutes for March 28th?
I thought we did that last week.
I thought that we approved it.
We
but
did approve those
All
last
right.
week.
Why-
You're the one that
why-
takes the
why-
minutes.
Why did
Takes
you
the
get it
motions.
again? I have to go check it in because you gave it back to
I'll
me.
send it to you
Okay,
again.
but then we have, well, it's fine, we make a little correction here. Okay. I make a
So,
motion to approve.
can you
March-
check back to see if we already approved those?
Yeah, but
They are
no, but
approved.
They
now,
are
They are approved?
if,
Yes.
All right.
okay, so what are,
We're
okay,
correcting it again.
okay. Just
And
put a
any other
little
minutes
thing
need to
in.
be
What else do
approved?
you have there?
You gave me, what, is this what you gave to me?
Well,
You
these are
put
the
a,
ones
cor-
we're
you,
waiting
you
for.
put a corrections in?
Yes.
I didn't read the corrections, what you put in.
How about July 6th? You got any record that that was approved?
What do you mean you
Yeah.
don't read the corrections?
I go, I
Commissioner
think
Kenny?
I read it, but I don't think I
You got a
read.
list of those.
You
Yes, I do.
corrected those and sent it
Do
to
you
me?
have July 6th and July
You
11th?
want July
I don't know
July
if I
6th and
read
July
this.
11th
Let me
and June
check it
13th.
Okay.
Because those are yours, huh?
These three have to be approved.
That is nothing, that is one. So we
Do
didn't.
you have any
approve
corrections on any of those?
that? So the July 6th, we're doing July 6th now.
Yeah, I have all the changes here that were handed to me.
Oh, okay. So
So what-
you put everything in?
Well, all the changes were made, and then a final, well,
Okay.
the changes were emailed. And I asked Lori to print them off, so you have them,
I got them. So these have been approved.
all changed. Oh, approved?
Well, she
Well-
put changes in.
And one of our problems is we lag behind in our minutes, and if we don't do them the following week, then we don't know what's approved, what's been changed. We need to get caught up to date here and approve the minutes
Right.
next week for the minutes of this week.
And I have the.
So we've got three here yet to be approved.
Okay, well, let me start with July 6th. I make a motion to approve the minutes of July 6, 2012. It's only one page.
I'll second it.
Yes, one page. It's got changes on me.
Any further discussion on, what, you second it?
No, I make the
You
motion.
make the motion, I'll second it, okay.
So
Any
July
further
6th.
discussion?
July 6, 2012.
Hearing none, then I'll call for the vote. Approval, motion to approve July 6th. All in favor, say aye.
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 This is what you just handed to me.
All those not in favor, say nay.
No, I didn't even look at it, so I'll just abstain because
You abstain, okay. We
You
got
already
it.
corrected it.
We got
I already
it.
corrected it, yeah.
I've already got it
I
approved.
thought.
You got them approved?
Well,
Since
it's
I
my
don't-
notes, but-
Since I don't have them in front of me, I'm just going to abstain.
I'm going by what the clerk says.
That's June 13th.
Now which
I'm
one?
getting handed from the minute taker.
That was July 6th,
Right.
and what about July 11th?
So,
You have July 11th?
oh, I have June 13th, because that's
June
what she
13th?
handed
June
to me.
13th, yeah.
She handed June 13th to me.
These
Yep.
are the copies that Lori gave me,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
so,
So we did July 25th, we approved for the corrections are in, and we did July 6th.
right.
And now we're doing June 13th,
Yes.
the corrections are in. So I make a motion to approve the minutes from June 13, 2012.
Do I hear a second?
Can I just check a couple, do you have the final, just let me check against what I, see if it came in. Okay, I second that.
Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor of approving June 13th minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. I assume you said aye.
Aye, yeah.
Okay.
And oh God, I can't keep up with this. June 13th, okay.
So do we have one
July
left?
11th?
July
I don't have a
11th.
copy of that, Lori didn't print one off.
Here,
I don't know if she gave you one.
here's July 11th.
July 11th.
Those are the changes that were made. It's got it right there.
Oh, so you did make the changes.
I had some questions on that.
July 11th.
Yeah. They're just
Well,
format questions.
didn't- okay.
Okay. Is that what we're looking at now, July 11th?
Yeah.
July 11th.
Yep.
Yep.
This was the one that, the question was Lieutenant Santuccio asking about, well, telling us about how many applicants there were.
Yeah,
And I went back and listened to the tape,
they were 20.
and
There
it
were
was
20,
Yep.
right? Okay.
I think that the question was if I said if we go to interview, I think you wrote that we go to interview. Okay, where is it? It's page 2.
that you should do the interviews, and I took out
Okay. By
all
Sandra
20.
Mckenzie-Mountain. So Commissioner Kennedy said the commissioners do the interviews. I don't think that I say an interview all 20 applicants.
Yeah, I took it out.
I just, oh, okay. So that piece is out. Good.
This is May.
What did you change here? What is this?
It was to check the tape.
No,
Oh.
but this thing here, what is that? What
It was
did-
about by Bell Connection. You asked me to
Oh,
take this
yeah,
out.
yeah.
It is out.
Because I didn't, I never saw it. Okay. Just give me a minute.
Any other questions that you have?
No, it was just the,
Do you have any corrections for July 11th?
I think I've done all the corrections I'm going to do on July 11th.
Okay, we have a motion to approve July 11th minutes.
price for all resellers. That part's taken out too.
Move to approve July 11th as corrected.
Show me what you take out. Can you?
I'll
put it-
second the motion.
I sent you a copy.
Any further discussion?
Oh, yeah, just get the name right. It's Schwartz without a T.
I know, I don't know why I keep putting the T in there. All right, 7/11, July 11th approved.
Yeah.
All those in support of
As-
the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and so voted. Okay. Now, are we caught up to date?
I believe so.
Yes.
We have only from today.
Didn't you get the email on July 11th?
This one.
All those changes are in.
How, is it? Probably that to you. So you did take it all out. So then,
Well, check the
then,
email.
well, yeah, I'm going to read it again then. Because I still have the one with, what is still
Are
in.
we all set?
Sorry,
Yeah, so
yes.
who made the motion from July 11? You did?
Did you make the motion?
Who made
Maybe.
the-
I
July
think, I
11th.
think I made the motion.
I have,
I second it. Okay.
I abstain. I want to read it again.
You abstain?
Yes, I want to
Okay.
read it again because
Okay.
I have the wrong set here, so I don't, she
All
said
right.
she took it out. but-
Motion passes,
July 11th.
Yes.
2 in support, 1 abstention. Are we ready to go into a non-public for interviewing?
Do you want this? You said you already did it.
It says,
Are we going to do
If you
anything
have
about approving the
Oh.
attorney?
Yes. Yes, I'm sorry, I'm glad you brought that up. I would make a motion that we hire a, what do you call them? Administrative counselor for our 2 o'clock meeting.
Is that it? Is that it?
That's it.
Okay, I'll second it.
Motion made that we hire an attorney as a counsel for the administrative meeting at 2 o'clock. Any further discussion? Motion made and seconded. Hearing none, then I will call for the motion. All those in support of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye,
I oppose.
okay. Motion passes 2 to 1. Is there anything else that we need to talk about in a regular meeting?
God, I hope not. I don't think so.
Oh, yes. I think we should move forward in advertising for the director of the nursing home.
Oh, yes,
Director or administrator?
administrator.
What's that?
Administrator.
You said director.
Administrator of the nursing home. Any discussion?
Nope.
I'll move then that we instruct the assistant HR person to advertise, the position for Mountain View Community Administrator.
Second.
And I would also add in there, what's your pleasure as to where it should be advertised? This is an important position. I would think that we would advertise in the Manchester Union Leader,
Yep.
Foster's Daily Democrat, is it Democrat?
Mhm.
Carroll County Independent, Conway Sun.
Well,
Are there any others that should
Is
be,
there on online?
we'll advertise on a webpage?
Yeah.
Got a website, and is it like jobs? You have other website, Jobs New Hampshire or something?
We could
I
do
think
jobs in New
they can
Hampshire.
post it
Yeah.
maybe a couple other places.
I'll include those in my motion.
Can
Any
we-
further?
Can we make it broader and any other postings that seem reasonable, or something to that effect?
And any other postings that are reasonable, okay?
Okay, I'll second that.
That's a motion made and seconded. Any further discussion on the motion?
Is there
I
a
would,
dollar amount on it?
not a dollar amount, but I would put a date in there of, applications need to be in by August 22nd at 10 o'clock, 10 a.m.
Oh, that's nice.
If it goes out this week, we got 1, 2, almost 3 weeks for it to, for applications to be here. After that time, we'll look at the applications, and then we'll have to leave at least a week, if not more, for applicants to come for an interview. And then they, if they have a present job, they'll have to put in their notice for a week or two at least, unless they are available immediately. So we're not looking at hiring anybody until at least the middle of September. Any comments?
I think we will need to do some, we may need to have somebody work
We
on
may
the
have
temporary.
to have an interim, you're correct. Somebody that has a license.
Right.
All right, let's keep that in mind. If we know of someone that could fill in, we can bring it up next week. All those in support of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And so voted. Okay, we got anything else to bring up today? Yes, Mr. Damon.
I was just wondering if the commission was planning to create a study committee or a search committee to help identify candidates, or if it's just going to do it on its own.
We will try to do that next week. We'll have a committee put together to interview candidates, just like we did for the HR position. All right, hearing no other, yes, Mr. Brown?
Are there qualifications for these jobs that are opening up now?
We had job description for the administrative position of the nursing home.
And how about the HR director?
Yes, we have that too.
And who come up with those?
I don't know who came up with them, but we approved them. Okay, I would make a motion then that we go into non-public for the sake of interviewing for the HR position.
Second.
Motion second. Any further discussion? All those in support of the motion say aye.
Aye.
I'll open up
No,
this.
we're not. Commissioners
No.
in here.
I would say that Commissioner Kenny knows of the hearing. She was here earlier. And whether she decided to participate or not, she did not let me know, which is kind of too bad, because I was hoping that the three of us would hear what has to be said, and that we could make it as a team effort and discuss it. Apparently, she sees fit not to be here, so we will start the hearing, and I would introduce Tom Clausen, attorney, Tom Clausen, to brief us on the procedures of this administrative hearing.
Well, Mr. Commissioner, I have a curveball for you.
A curveball?
Right out of the box.
Okay.
In discussing with the individuals involved in the hearing that's scheduled for today, it was clear to me that there wasn't agreement on exactly what the issue was that was being heard. And in talking with the employee, he indicated that at least initially, the discussion to figure out whether this should be a hearing in public, he would like to have that discussion in a non-public session, which is his right. So I will just look to the employee, Dean, for confirmation that that is indeed the
Yes,
case.
sir.
Under the right to know statute, an employee has the right to elect to have the hearing conducted in a non-public session. So I think the thing to do is to begin in non-public, and then if we decide that we need to have a public hearing, that's the employee's right, we will convene a public hearing.
Immediately?
Yeah.
I would, well, everybody's here, so we might as well have the discussion right now, or if you want to wait for Commissioner Kenny, that's fine by me too, but I
I
think
guess
there's
I'm
clearly
not
some
sure
confusion.
what you're saying. Would you, I'm a little confused. Say it again, please.
I think that we should start out in non-public,
Yeah,
consistent with the request of the employee,
yeah.
to have a discussion and figure out exactly what the issue is that we're handling here today.
Okay,
And then we can determine whether the matter should be heard in a public session or not.
or non-public.
But at least at this point, the way the employee came here with the expectation that a certain issue was going to be addressed, and the expectation that that be done in non-public. And as is his right, we should honor his
So,
right to have it in non-public.
Okay, so are you saying that we should ask him to present what he feels should be discussed here?
I think we should discuss that with him in a non-public session before we
Oh.
have a public hearing.
Okay, so then what you're saying, we need to go into non-public session and everybody's excused,
Yes.
okay? I'll make a motion that we go into non-public session for discussion purposes on,
Matters related to personnel, and I can give you
Matters relating to
specific
personnel.
citation.
okay? Sorry about that, folks. Yes?
Did you vote to go into non-public?
We're just doing that.
Oh, I didn't.
There's a motion on the floor
Yep.
to go into non-public session for matters of
Personnel
Personnel.
matters and matters of reputation would be the basis on which.
personnel and
Okay.
reputation. Okay,
You second it?
seconded.
A roll call then?
Oh, Solomon, yes. Sorensen,
Yes.
okay.